other strangers. We're in my kitchen today and I'm gonna do a little bit of cooking for you. So I realized I am totally out of tofu and I use it a lot when I cook. So I'm gonna show you guys how I make tofu taste amazing. So I have my block of tofu here and I'm going to cut it into 4 thin pieces like this. Now I've got my 4 pieces on a tea towel. I'm going to press out some of the water. Tofu, if you don't press out all of the water, it can be very mushy on the inside once you cook it some. And you don't want to use too much pressure or you're going to totally crush the tofu. But give it a good squeeze and you'll feel some of the water start to come through the tea towel. You can also use paper towels for this, but I personally prefer a tea towel. Now I've moved them to a dry part of the towel and I'm going to press them a second time. Same thing, just press until you feel some of the water come out. Be careful not to crush it. And you want to do this with either firm or extra firm tofu. I don't know if I said that earlier. Now that we've got our tofu all nice and pressed out, we want it cut up into cubes. Now that I've got the tofu in the bowl that it's going to marinate in overnight, and I've pulled out my ingredients for the marinade. For this, I'm using some store-bought teriyaki sauce, onion powder, ginger in powdered form, but you can use fresh, and some sriracha because I like it spicy. Now, my marinade is an inexact science. I do it and combine these ingredients to my taste. So kind of just go at it until you're happy. So as I'm going along and tossing it with my hands, I'm kind of checking the taste just by licking my fingers a little bit. I'm the only vegan in the family, so I'm the only one who's gonna touch this tofu, so it's fine. And I'm gonna cook it later, so it's fine. So I have covered the tofu with a little plastic topper, and I'm gonna let it sit in the fridge overnight and really soak in all those lovely flavors, and I will come back to this tomorrow to cook. All right, it's the next day, so let's get to frying up our tofu. All right, I have the tofu here that has been marinating overnight, and I'm gonna fry it up with a little bit of sesame oil, just because it'll go with the flavors in the teriyaki sauce better. Now, when you're frying up your tofu, you wanna make sure you're not overcrowding it. And today, because I'm kind of running behind, I'm just gonna crisp up the flatter sides, like these big sides here, and not the smaller sides like that. But you can, if you have more time than I do right now, crisp up all of the sides. That's what I normally do. But yeah, here we go. All right, after about 5 to 7 minutes on medium-high heat, you're gonna wanna turn it over. It's gotten a little burnt here, as you can see, but that's okay, I don't mind. But you're looking for this more brown color here is when you're good to turn it over. I prefer to use just like some tongs, but you can use a fork or whatever you have on hand. It's looking good, smelling good, and it's all cooked. Let me try a piece for you. It's always kind of an experiment because I do it a little bit differently every time. That's really good. I'm gonna stick a few pieces in my lunch, which is quinoa and veggies, with some teriyaki sauce on top to give it some matching flavor with the tofu, and a little bit of sriracha as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and DFTBA, other strangers. Bye.